Good day everyone, thank you for coming to the channel. Today I would like to showcase my Faith Bowazon. So Faith is a very popular rune word for Bowazons, and I guess I like it, but at the same time like I kind of don't like it. Because I mean it's too cookie cutter, like it's not unique enough for me. But nevertheless, it is one of those base Bowazon builds. So here's my version, and let me go ahead and show you my talents, my gears, and the whole shebang. So my weapon, this is a perfect faith in a grand matron bow. It cost me a lot. I wrote this myself many ladders ago. Paid like 200 form gold at the time for the base, and I rolled like good 20 times, and then I finally got this. But if you think about it, like only the two ranges are the fanaticism aura and the all skill. So fanaticism is between 12 to 15, and the all skill is either 1 or 2. So 12 to 15 is like what, 12, 13, 14, 15, so that's 4, 1, 2, so 2. So it's 1 out of 8 chance that you'll roll this. 1 out of 8 chance, but sometimes it takes way more than that. Just RNG god, right? For my armor, I'm using a fort in a wire fleece because I really truly believe that the graphics of a wire fleece on Amazon is the most beautiful looking thing. I don't like dusk as much. I think this is so much better. And this isn't a perfect fort. It's the life is 1.375, so it's just one off of the perfect, which is 1.5, right? But yeah, just it's not the best, it's the second best. That's good enough for me. So I just decided to go with this. And for my helm, I'm using a 3 socket 30 faster run walk with 3 jewels. Obviously attack speed and damage jewel. And it's red and blue, just like Korean flag, and also Mongolian flag and Tibet flag, which all 3 flags not just show the color, but the I guess in Korean we say taegeuk, the shape. I don't want to get too, sorry, I shouldn't delve too much into that, but I just want to digress on that. Anyways, my Ami is on High Lord, and this was a little debate, because I mean I understand that a lot of these effects are nerfed on a Bowazon, like Crushing Blow is like what, half or something. So I don't know, maybe if I should use maybe Cat's Eye instead, because it will still keep the increased attack speed, which I need, but it will give me faster run walk. But this also gives you lightning resist, and as you guys should know, all Bowazons are always lacking lightning resist, or any kind of resist for that matter. So that's why I'm kind of using this right now. And for my boot, I'm using a Tri-Res 30 faster run walk with 3 decks. So I think the selection of the resist, whatever they may be lacking for you, but general rule of thumb is like fire and lightning. I think lightning is #1 priority than fire, because in like Act 5, those throne, those black souls, they fire like those lightning stuff. It hurts a lot. So I think whatever best you can get, and obviously I'm not using gore here because of what I just mentioned earlier about the nerf on the Crushing Blow stuff. Yeah, I'm not like an expert on it. I read about it. If you guys know more, please let me know. Yeah, I'm no expert in this game. And for my ring, I'm using a dual leech ring. And I wish I had gotten like 11 all red, which is the maximum you can get on a ring, which would cost me so much more, But this lacking on resist, but it's dual leech, which is what I needed. And then I'm using a raven here. And I'm using Nas Coil. That's for the increased attack speed. I need all of that to reach the maximum speed on my normal bow and my strafing. So that's why I'm using this. And I'm using a crafted glove. This I paid about 200 form gold like 4 ladders ago. At the time it was pretty good price versus the market. And if you see, it has passive or attack speed, knockback, the biggest thing. 7 decks, lovely, but it's not dual stat, right? Dex and strength. I mean, oh my god, a pair like that would cost like so much more. But this has that light fire resist, as you guys can see, so that's why I'm pretty happy with this. And then on the offhand, I'm using a 660 TA with a bow spirit. And for my charms, usually what it looks like is that for Bowazons, you don't really go for skillers. You kind of do more damage. And for me, like, I filled it in as much as I can, along with whatever these poison charms my bot picked up. I mean, look at this one, it's 313. It's not that bad. And then this one is at 330, right? So it's kind of like what I would call chicken rib. It's a famous phrase from Romance of Three Kingdoms during, I guess, Chinese history in the Han Dynasty. 삼국지, we say in Korean. And any Asian person who doesn't, especially male, who doesn't know about this, was not raised in Asia. This story is popular in Japan, Korea, and China. They're really popular. So, anyways, from that story comes this phrase, chicken rib. And basically, like, it's kind of like, it's tasty enough to eat, but it's not that easy to eat. It's kind of annoying. So, like, look at this, right? I mean, okay, 100 poison to strength, maybe, not as good. But, like, I mean, I have other ones here. Yeah, okay, like, 175 and 3 faster run walk. It's like, oh, level 80 requirement. It's like, oh, like, it's like, just kind of put me in a limbo. That's why I call this chicken rib right now. And I have another pair here, and then here another 313s. So I just kind of like mixed it up with whatever I have, just best as I could. And I guess maybe you can do all more like this kind of small charms, like max attack rating and life. But yeah, whatever you can afford, that's what I would say. I mean, look at this one, it's so unique, 175 and 20 life. It's like, oh, like this is actually pretty damn decent. So it's like, oh, should I not, And I kept the 2 grand charms here because I didn't want to fill in with the smalls. Like sometimes, like I have to, like, I mean, as you guys may have seen, like the way I move items is I use a cube. So because of the way I do that, let's say if I had like small charms in here and I had to move them away, right? Then I have to do them one by one. So it's really annoying. Whereas I figure, you know what? If I have just two grand charms like this, it's just one click to move 3 slots open, versus one move or 1 click for 1 slot. So that's why I'm kind of using 2 grand charms here. And then here's my Annie, nothing special. My torch. And for the stats, I put 156 for the the spirit on the off. But another option is lidless walk, because it has much less strength requirement, so you don't have to put this much. But that means you're going to be losing 1+ skill on your bow. So it is a trade-off, but some people make that trade-off because some people don't want to get that high on strength on like Amazons, So you can put that rest into dex, which will boost your damage. So it's kind of give and take. Just I just want to let you know that there's that option, and you can kind of play with that. But if you're gonna play with that, you gotta understand your bow is gonna be 1 skill less. It's kind of like with the Amis, right? If you're using like 2, let's say Amazon Ami versus Mara. Okay, so Mara, it's 2 all skill, 5 all stats, and 30 all res. We're ranging right between 20 and 30. So it's like whatever you may think, but actually that 2 all skill affects both. Whereas if you're using like 2 skill, like 2 Amazon Ami, then yeah, that's just Amazon skills, right? So it won't affect both. Just those little nuances to kind of keep in mind. So yeah, I just put here, just enough into here, max out dex, nothing. And as you can see, my resist, it's not maxed out. So maybe you could just put in some 5 all res, charms in here too, if you want it maxed out. But this is good enough for me, I guess. Fire, lightning, but I won't die. So, and then for my talents, I went max out straight, max out magic arrow. I mean, I respect so many times with all of my Bowazons, and I actually unified this talent for all of them. And I had my reason for it. I guess, I mean, magic arrow, I would just use it against any physical immunes to begin, but this actually does a pretty decent damage. So to me, like, this is kind of more of that boss hunter and physical immune hunter. And strafe is kind of more general attack for all throughout, attacks up to 10, but can't move while you're firing, which kind of sucks. But overall, you can time it, you kind of strafe once, and then once it's done, you can move around and whatnot. I don't think it's too bad. But guided arrow is nerfed. So like back in the old days, I remember like yeah, it pierced through multiple times. So it's like guided was one of like main skills to have. But now they nerfed that and patched that, so you know it's kind of shame. But anyways, moving on. So I put enough here where if I bow, I get to 65, which is about like 2/3, right? So every twice out of 3 times, he will critical strike. But I'm not sure if this gets affected with all those, you know, like the mitigation from like crushing blow and other stuff I mentioned. But from what I have found and read and learned, like this is kind of more rare to recommend it instead of maxing it out because of the diminishing return. And then you have penetrate. I maxed this out, and I put enough where once I bow, I have up to 80%. So if not, if you don't want this, you gotta get that other belt, the piercing belt. The name avoids me right now, but it's a unique shark skin belt. What was the name? It's like, oh, I can't remember all of a sudden. But yeah, that has 66% piercing, whereas in the old days it was pure piercing, 100%. So now they nerfed it down to 66, which then you need just like what 30%ish from here to make up for that to have 100% pierce. So I do that with my other Bowazons, but with this one, since I don't have that belt, I just settle with just this much. And I maxed out Valkyrie, one of the best summons in the game, as people would say. And yeah, I think there's just nowhere else to go after this too. So, and I have some of the synergies already put in, so might as well. And as I level, I'm putting into Decoy, which is a synergy to Valkyrie. And I actually use this too. It's pretty damn useful. Like when you just don't want to have your attention, just summon this and then shoot from behind, it's really nice. And I got nothing on Javelin. And for my Mercenary, I'm using Pride. So one thing I figured, as you guys probably know, I figured it out pretty late. If you don't have like Enigma to teleport, I probably should use Reaper's Toll. As much as I love it, like you gotta be in the melee range to use that. And when your twos are melee who doesn't have teleport, like Bowazon for me, or my Fury Druids, yeah, like positioning of the mercenary is gonna be difficult. And something like this that actually gives like a universal aura, while you're in just enough vicinity of it that you get the benefit of, looks much better. So that's why I kind of opt to go with this. And I'm using an Ethereal Andy with the increased attack speed and a fire resist jewel. Yeah, this one looks like it was a perfect jewel. Wow, I should have used it on this one. I mean, the strength isn't maxed, life is maxed, but anyways, it has a perfect jewel. And I'm using Treachery. And with this speed, it should be pretty fast, 35, 80. Yeah, and then it's receiving my faith. I'm sure I'm pretty maxed out on the speed here. And for my Bowazon too, I know her speed is maxed out. So I have a little cow open, and I'll go ahead and do a Diablo and Bail as always. I'm gonna go ahead and buff up, summon that, rebow that. Yeah, it looks like there's some lag on the server. I kind of noticed, like, yeah, it's kind of laggy. Maybe it's because of the resurrected. Maybe, I mean, right now, today is 7/13. So, what, beta's gonna be out in August, so that's next month. And the game will be, and the game will be released in, what, September. So yeah, I mean, we already know, the server's been weird, right? I'm sure you guys experienced where like you're trying to like log in, and then you get stuck on like, oh, searching for server for like forever, or like checking version for like forever. So yeah, the server's been unstable for the past few months. I thought it would stop, but it's still going on. Obviously, Blizzard is doing something to the server in relation to Diablo 2 Resurrected. They haven't told us anything, but that's the only reason why. I mean, same thing happened back on Warcraft 3 when they were trying to, implement the server thing for the Reforged on the Warcraft 3, which was a remaster of it, right? And I don't know if you guys know, but Warcraft 3 remaster, unlike the success of the StarCraft remaster, was like the worst remaster ever. I mean, I'm actually a Warcraft 3 fan. I played over like 10,000 games random. So I really like the game. I've been playing for a long time. I have pre-purchased the Reforged, and on the first day after I played, like I just stopped. It wasn't the same. I don't know exactly what it is for me, but I just stopped. And then later, I don't know if you guys know, but Blizzard came and said that if you want a refund, we'll give you a refund. So I was like, okay, fine. So yeah, I requested my refund. I got my money back. And I don't know if this is intended or not, but on my Battle.net app, I still have the game. Because the game itself actually wasn't fully uninstalled or anything. So I linked it, and like I can play the game. Like I can play on Battle.net too. So I don't know what's up. I'm just not gonna say anything really. But you know, I bought it, I refunded it, but I still kept the functionality somehow. So maybe it's a bug, whatever. But I don't really play as often. I mean, it's not as a hype as I had thought. So, but anyways, as I kill 3 on this cow, I would like to again mention BTS. I'm sorry if you don't like it at all, but I'm an army now. I mean, on the last video I said I'm not an army, but I'm an army. I can't deny it. I mean, what they have done. Yeah, the recent song Permission to Dance was just released like what, last week or something, and like I was so shocked. Well, first I didn't think the song was gonna do that good, to be honest. I don't think it has the kind of the bang like it had with Dynamite or Butter. However, it's a song that kind of grows on you. I think more you listen, you start kind of liking it more and more and more. But it does lack a punch because there's no rap. This time Sugar or Nord RM rap. So it's kind of missing that part. But all in all, like the surprising part, like I don't know if you guys know. Ooh, 3 javelin after the oh interesting. Ethereal 3 javelin matriarchal pipe. This is the best form, the highest form they could drop. It's kind of like Ghost Spear for, Barbarian Breath of the Dying base. Well, so this would be Breath of the Dying too. So with this base, if I socket it, I should get 6 sockets. Only thing though is that it has no enhanced damage. But I have a physical javelin. But hers, she already has this base. But, it has enhanced damage though, so. But anyways, so what they did was that on the music Permission to Dance, like, there was a report from one of the fans. The fan said he was watching it with a cousin or something who was deaf. And in BTS, like, a Permission to Dance moves, the dance move, there's a sign language in there, international sign language. Then he says, get up and dance. Like, world peace, like, be happy, all the positive stuff. It's like, what? Like, okay, one, I have never heard of a music that employed sign language, let alone be a group that is currently on the top of the world and, doing so well. Like, I mean, you know what, they don't have to address this disabled community. They don't. But why are they? Is it because it's like a marketing scheme, as some people have said? Oh, it's like they're extending their reach and trying to make more money, blah blah blah. But you know what? Like, if it was a marketing scheme, I don't think like they would have thought it like this. They would think in a marketing way, to try in a brain way, because brain is where the knowledge is, right? So they would use their brain to think about how to marketize and maximize profit. But no, this was not decided by the brain. Brain wouldn't decide this because it's not marketable. It's not easy way to make money. This decision clearly was made from the heart. Like, as they have always been. I mean, ever since release, 당시업, their, I guess, PD, producer, CEO, a big hit. Like, that was his whole thing, He wanted a group who's honest and straightforward and as true as they are. None of this enough fakeness, especially in K-pop. There's so much fakeness going on. I mean, I'm Korean, I grew up in it, so I know. Like, I heard about all the negativities in K-pop, like, how the girls have to give it up sometimes, to be a member or too advanced, they gotta sexually please them. Yeah, so bad things happen. But this group, like, see, when you look at BTS, like, it's really sad. Like, they had such a difficult start, and like, it's because they didn't abide to the system. We have, right, the system. It's kind of like, just like the movie Matrix, in a way we are sleeping in that machine. Ooh, that guy, he's dead. But in that sense, like, BTS, like, they don't abide to those systems. They're like, no, screw your system. BTS is kind of like the awakened Keanu Reeves, right? Or those people who are awakened, and they know what the truth is, and they have to connect themselves to enter the world of Matrix and whatnot. And that's what I feel like BTS is. Like, they're like, what, screw you all. I'm not gonna abide to your fucked up system. It's messed up. I don't like it. And you know what? I'm just gonna do what I like to do, the way I like to do, and enjoy what I do, and just make the world a better place. And it's exactly what they have been doing for the past 8 years, which is why they're still systematically prejudiced, discriminated, and racist even today. Like, I guess being a Korean, like, two things really upset me. One, I guess, is the Grammy result. I'm sure a lot of your armies know, and I know too. BTS performed on the Grammy, and Grammy made the audience wait all the way to the end. Of course, that's marketing strategy. That everyone knows they're here to watch BTS, so what? They don't show the BTS early on. They have to make the audience wait till the end. It's marketing strategy. Anyways, yeah, all that happened, and in the end, BTS didn't win. It's like, wow, really? After what they had done? Over 30 plus performance live of Dynamite? And whereas Lady Gaga and this girl, I don't know her name, like, that's the first time they did that performance, only one time. Over BTS, who did it multiple times live, singing all that. I mean, they get, it's like, okay, fine. Asian racism, it's okay, we all know. But for me, sorry, but I gotta say too, I'm Asian, I've been here 30 years, lived most of my life in Cali. But like 20 years ago, I remember, like, I was in a car with a white friend who drove a Ford Focus with a rice rocket inside. And, we got pulled over by a cop because he's a dumbass. He's hitting 100 on the freeway. And I guess the cop thought, like, the driver, my friend, is a white guy, and he's an Asian guy. Because the very first response was like, as soon as the cop came over, the cop said, oh, you're white. And my friend's like, what the fuck you think I was? Black? He's like, whoa, a white guy just talked to a white officer like that. It's like, is that for real? Like, is that okay? And in the end, we didn't get a ticket. Like, wow. And this happened in Santa Ana, Orange County, California. So, as melting pot and, as democratic, you can say, as California is, a lot of racism still happens every day. Like, another thing for me, like, being Korean, in school, people always kid at me. Always, like, joke to me and ask me, oh, Jun, are you from the north or the south? It's like, ha ha, you dumb fuck. That's funny. That's how ignorant you are. And you know what? I take your ignorance and forgive you as who you are, an ignorant fool. And, for us last Koreans, like, it's like, it's shit that we hear all the time. Like, people still make them shit. And, it's just like the way Yoon Ye-jung said, the Oscar winner with the Minari movie. Oh, that was classic. Like, when I saw her, and the first thing she said, I'm like, you know what? That was so funny. Because Brad Pitt actually mispronounced the name. He called her Jo Jung-yoon. That's why when she started her speech, that's the first thing she said. Although she loves Brad Pitt as any woman out there, but she had to say that, oh, European people call me like this, American people call me like this. But you know what, tonight, I forgive you all. It's okay, I forgive you all. And I'm just like, when I saw that, I'm like, wow. She just slapped these white people on their faces, literally. And you know what? These white people, they're happy right now. They're laughing, and they're like amazed at this Korean woman's like straightforwardness. And it's just like, wow, lady, like, you just stood up for all of it, and you just like bitch slapped all of them. as I have wanted to face slap them, that I haven't. But you know, sorry if anyone finds that kind of offensive, but yeah, you know, being Asian, Korean, you know, American, like, it's something, you know, that happens. And right now, you know, with the whole corona, there's a lot of Asian hate going on. And it's just, it's so sad. It comes from all this ignorance and all that. But anyways, I'm sorry, I need to find an arrow first. I'm kind of low. You know, it's like this all the time. I have 2 bolts, but no arrow. Like, every time, like, you're looking for that arrow, you'll never see it. And then when you don't need it, in a pile of all this loot on the ground, you'll see like 5 different arrows sitting everywhere. I saw 37 left. Oh my god. I'd rather not go back to town if I don't have to. But I might have to because I can't find a fucking arrow. Oh, but anyways, going back with BTS though, I mean, they had an international sign language on their dance move with permission to dance. I think that is just so remarkable. And yeah, systematic racism. So yes, first thing was that Grammy thing. Second thing, you know, like I always say, like I'm equally racist. Like I'm racist to white people, black people, and Mexicans, but I'm also just as racist to Koreans. And I guess, you know, I hate Koreans the most actually. So much dirt, I know, so much hate, so much corruption that I know about Koreans. So, you know, it's time to talk shit about Koreans with BTS. It's so mind-boggling. Like, so this week, Butter's been #1 for 7 weeks in a row. Last week, Butter has been #1 for 6 weeks in a row. And during all this time, Korean media is not covering BTS. Like, it's not on the news. Of course, if you search, you'll find it. But you have to make the effort to search. Whereas, like, you know, in the front page of like a big Korean Google website, Naver, you know, you see, you know, these memes that are being reported and moving around. But while BTS is hitting #1 on the charts and setting all these records, it's not talked about in the Korean media at all. It's like, how is that possible? I mean, if you're a foreigner, wouldn't you think Korea would be like raving about these boys and like treating them as gods or something, you know? But no, not at all. Like, media is not talking about them. Media is not covering them. It's just like in Japan right now. You know, the corona and the Olympic. Right now, Japanese are demonstrating against the whole Olympic and saying don't do it. And so surprisingly, no Japanese TV station ever comes to cover the news. So in the media, in the news, it's not talked about. In the newspaper, from what I was told and when I watched, people, it's like kind of written as like a side news. Oh, just miscellaneous. Oh, there was this demonstration. Oh, like only bad people kind of do this stuff. And that's it. No one's talking about it. I'm like, really? Japan, you know, if you think about it, it's not a democratic country. They still have an emperor. And their government is ruled by the prime minister. You know, it's been Abe for a long time, and now it's Suga. So no, Japan is not a democratic country. And yeah, one thing in Japan, just like in China, Japan does not make fun of the politics. In America, you have SNL, Saturday Night Live, and they make fun of the politics as much as they want, especially during Trump things, right? I mean, Trump was the best target. Korea too. In Korea, we make fun of politics, and it's freedom of expression. You don't necessarily get in trouble for it. But of course, you know, politicians won't like you for it, but no, it's not like they'll kill you like in China. Yeah, sorry to say, in China, they'll still lock you up and kill you if you say negatively about the government. So, you know, it's not like that in Korea. But see, that's what I'm saying, like in Japan, I mean, you wouldn't think Japan would be like that. But that's the fact. Japan is like China. And that's the surprising fact. The Japanese media is not covering the demonstration movement of their own citizens to express their disdain against the Olympics. Is that democracy? Is that freedom of expression? Is that right practice of a press who's governed by the government? I mean, United States too, right? Fox News, CNN. I mean, those people who know. Those are all ruled by the government. It's all funded by the government. So a lot of the news is biased, especially during like the war times. Remember a couple years ago, with like Baghdad, Iraq, and all that, and there was so much talk about all this miscellaneous information, this wrong information. And yeah, it is. So that's the sad part. Like I'm so surprised. Like BTS in Korea is not covered. You have to make an effort to look for it. Look for a group of 7 boys who broke the record of being the first Asian ever, not just Korean, right? First Asian ever to be #1 on the Billboard and have consecutive songs in consecutive weeks. Like the fastest 100 million views on YouTube. Like all the YouTube records have been broken. I mean, and the Korean government is not covering them? Why? Well, it's the exact same reason why BTS added sign language in their music. It's because they don't stick to the system. So the system doesn't like them. I mean, basically in a way, I don't know the detail, but just, system wants their cut. Financial cut, influential cut, whatever. Or basically it's kind of, hey dude, this is the way you gotta get things done. Like you gotta go left and right and straight. But BTS is like, no, I don't think I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna do what I wanna do. And if you like it, great. If you don't, no problem. I mean, that's the BTS's stand. And yeah, so that's what they're doing. So that's why people hate them. That's why these, the haves, the ones who are already in power, who are controlling the system, they don't like BTS. And that's why they're making every effort possible to bring them down. And, I guess it's human nature and whatnot. History repeats itself, all this blah blah blah, but I just find it very just upsetting. I mean, Grammy situation, no problem. White people racism to Asians, it's not anything new. I experienced it all my life, it's okay. But Koreans being racist against own Koreans in this systematic manner? Seriously, the external enemies are definitely a challenge to deal with, but the internal enemies are even scarier. I mean, right, like in wartime, right, if you're out there in the front line fighting, like even fighting the enemy itself is such a difficult job, but if you're, internal, betray on you, like, I mean, they don't send you the supplies or something, or don't send you the weapons so you can fight, or give you wrong information so that your army will be in a trap and you all die. It's not, I feel the same here. I mean, Korean government is systematically discriminating against BTS. Or Korean media is not government right here. Korean media is systematically discriminating against BTS. Like our own government against our own 7 boys who have overcome so many odds and obstacles. And they're just spreading love, message of love and positivity, which is actually the message of Korea, our founder's message, our founder Kanggun. And his teaching is to spread love and spread goodwill to the world. And that's exactly what BTS is doing. BTS has saved millions of lives from darkness, oppression, depression, suicide, and on and on and on. And yet, but I think it's okay. For me, the way I see, like, more the haters, like, it gives energy. It's a source of power to BTS. Because if you look at the song Mic Drop, BTS is addressing the haters, like, so clearly. With music video, with their lyrics, everything. It's like, yeah, more haters they have, the better it is for BTS. Like, these haters actually give materials for BTS to make songs off of, just like Mic Drop. So, it's not a bad thing, but, just our own media systematically prejudicing and discriminating against these 7 boys who are breaking records. That's just sickening. It really is. So I really hope BTS does well. I really hope that unlike the repeated pattern in Korean history, that we do not bring these boys down. That we do not, you know, make their accomplishment less than what it is. Because I really hope that we don't kill our own people. Because that's been one of the biggest, like, sins throughout Korean history. Right? We have great people, and then we're the ones busy bringing them down to hell and just kill them in the end. So I hope BTS is a success, is long-lived, and yeah, I hope just they can go on and just keep spreading the good message, and really save the people, save a lot of people, Anyways, yeah, I'm almost to the end. Oh shit, I have one more ring. Oh my god, I'm like ready to go in, and like I'm not concentrating, I'm just talking about BTS here. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, I would like to recommend it. If you don't like them, that's fine and all, but for what they have done, if you don't know the facts and don't have information about them, I think it's at least worth trying to find out. I mean, number one, they're not a boy band. Even calling them a boy band is an insult, because it's like degrading who they are. They're not a boy band. They're not NSYNC or Backstreet Boys. No, these guys, they rap, they dance, and they sing, and their genre is wide covering. They do R&B, they do hip hop. There's nothing that they cannot do. Through the songs that they have done already, they have shown us what they can do, which is any genre, any way they want, and they're great at it. So, yeah, I just hope that goes well for a long time. But here, as you can see, on a Bowazon, boss fights are the worst. I think everyone does have a Bowazon and should know what I mean. Because it takes eternity. Oh shit, my mercenary died. I didn't expect him to die. Oh, do I even have enough gold to resurrect him? No, I'm losing damage off of him. Oh my god. Dude, the fake fail is on me too. Do I have enough gold? Because, earlier I ran out. Yeah, this step on a Bowazon is really, really painful. Like, all my Bowazons are like this. And I guess it's something with the mechanic and how the game works. Like the fastest is like sorcerers, because you have the static field, right? Boom, 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 static, 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 do your main, they're all dead. 2 seconds. But on the Bowazon, yeah. This is what we normally have to go through. Ooh, there we go. But obviously, nothing really that good, I think. But I'm gonna take some of these, because I gotta sell it to resurrect my my mercenary. I don't think I have enough gold. So anyways, I'll do that after. And this was the build. That was the run. Sorry, I kind of talked about BTS and kind of really delved into it with my personal digression. But yeah, I'm an army. I mean, what they're doing is so amazing. I cried a lot over their songs because it is really just touching in many ways. So I hope you guys do give a try with one of their songs. I would like to recommend On BTS On, the music video with the drum band, like Manifesto or something. Oh, that music video, oh my god, it's like, oof, it's too good. It's just too good. But anyways, if you guys have any questions or comments, please let me know. Thank you very much, and have a good one.